Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix. I definitely wanted to open up today, kind of describe some of the things that I've experienced lately, kind of my reflection on it, and what I've been trying to figure out about my life. I've been thinking of Brene Brown and vulnerability and joy and how difficult it is to be vulnerable, but how important it is because it's okay to be human. It's okay to acknowledge that sometimes you don't have the answer. It's okay to acknowledge that sometimes you don't know what to do. And so there are certainly a lot of difficulties in our lives, things that make our lives difficult and that are hard to figure out what to do with. And so I wanted to be honest and just express that with my mental health condition, I tend to live in very intense emotions a lot of the time. And lately I've been on edge because I've had a lot of stressors, trying to figure out what to do to maintain my financial stability, just given that everything is so expensive and trying to just stay on top of everything and work and do what you got to do. And it can be really overwhelming sometimes. My job is very difficult as much as I like it. It can be very difficult. But the point of mentioning this is like I've had various things kind of stack up in my life lately, including just trying to figure out what I'm doing for work and what I'm going to do for life and kind of having existential angst about my value as a person, honestly, with like, is my creativity enough? Am I doing enough? Am I doing enough in life? Am I going to have any regrets? And I kind of just want to lean into these feelings a little bit because I don't usually do that. I realize that I expect myself to be perfect. I expect myself to be someone who never does anything wrong. And I do that partly because that has been my responses whenever there's any kind of crumbling in my composure or my persona, things seem to go wrong. And I'll admit, I get hurt easily. I'm definitely much more sensitive, and when I'm on edge, and I recognize that, over this past Sunday where I kind of blew up a little bit because I was so overwhelmed and trying to figure out what to do. But I wanted to reflect on that because my sense is we need to. We're often told that we have to be stoic and we have to tough it out and not express anything, but I'm literally the opposite, being super sensitive and desiring to communicate and connect with people and communicate my experiences and emotions. And so I'm trying to lean into it because I'm struggling. On the one hand, I realize that I can't always be perfect because it's impossible and because that shouldn't even be the expectation in the first place. So I'm trying to lean into that reality of recognizing that on the one hand, I want to protect myself, which is why I take on the persona. But on the other hand, I do want to be vulnerable because I want to acknowledge who I am and what I'm experiencing and what I'm going through. And so I know that we all have hard times. I know that we all go through difficult things. And that's why it's so important that we lean into it, I think, because we want to be there for people. Other people can be just as empathetic, if not more empathetic. They can be so understanding of what you're going through and they can relate to it and they can grasp what you're saying. And I think it's so hard to do this because we shut ourselves down. And I realized when I was struggling on Sunday that I needed to acknowledge my emotions because I had just been compartmentalizing it and compartmentalizing it. And by that, I mean that I literally was just telling myself I'll get through it. Like these emotions aren't affecting me. Like I'm going to be fine. Like I may be having these triggers and everything about the way that people treat me or the things that I'm experiencing or the stress from just trying to survive with mental illness. And my identity, which, causes a lot of issues in my life because people don't always understand where I'm coming from. And so the point is to recognize that it is a very tough thing, that I have to acknowledge my feelings and that trying to continually avoid them or pretend that they're not there or just, I mean, I don't want to say that I do that to the extreme degree because I don't. I really do try to acknowledge my feelings. I really try to express them in a positive way and utilize them in a positive way and channel them into something productive. But at the same time, I am kind of a stoic in a way because I'm afraid of letting my guard down. And I've had to get to a point to be okay with that. That people love me and that they care about me and they want me to do well in life and they want me to succeed. They want me to be happy. And it's amazing when you have people in your life that really want you to be happy because that's not something that I would have expected for myself, that people would care that much about me, that they really just want me to experience that joy and therefore not be so overwhelmed. And so I do think it can be a really tough thing to try to figure out, how you can communicate emotions in an effective way without, you know, struggling too much with the backlash that you may get for feeling what you feel. But I'm also trying to, like I said, just lean into it. I know that we all have difficulties and we all struggle in life and we all are dealing with our own things in life, and it can be really hard. But it's just remembering that you're supported and that you're loved and that you're doing your best and that it's okay to feel those emotions. And so that's what I tell myself. Based off what happened on Sunday, it's like, yeah, I had a difficult time, but I'm doing my best to process reality. I know that life is unfair. And as they say in DBT, whether it's fair or not, you still have to deal with it. It does become your responsibility. And while I admit I don't like that, I don't like that that's the case and that that's the situation, there's a way in which I realize I do want to deal with these things because I want solutions. I want to be able to move forward. I want to be able to move forward in a positive way in my life and be able to see all of the beautiful, great things. And I do feel loved, and that is so remarkable to me to feel, is that I do feel loved. And so I'm allowing myself to be a little bit more vulnerable and just accepting that sometimes life is difficult, but we do our best. We do our best anyway. And so I'm going to try to lean into it more and just be aware of what I'm feeling and recognizing that it's okay. You know, it's okay. You're doing your best. All right. Well, I'm Phoenix. I hope that you can relate to this talk. I hope you find it helpful for your own life. And, we never know what people are going through, but just trying to have compassion for people and kind of keep our tenderness and sensitivity. It might be that it's easy to lose our sensitivity and tenderness and kindness and compassion in life because that's where I'm at. But I am doing my best to keep that something steady because I really need that. I really believe in it. So yeah, I'm Phoenix. Thank you for watching, and I encourage you to check out my other videos, and I encourage you to check out my books. I'll put the link in the description to my author page. I'm Phoenix. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.